Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be about trust training your pet's rats, or hand training as some people call it. This is by far my most requested video. It's taken me a long time to post this video. I kind of had a lot of reservations because every rat is different. They all have different personalities. It also depends on the time that you're willing to put in to your pets and just the setup that you have at your house in general. I know most people don't have hours and hours to spend training their rats. A lot of people don't have designated rooms specifically for their pets and stuff like that. So a lot of trust training tips that are out there may not work for everybody. And like I said earlier, it also depends on the rats. Some are just naturally shy, some don't like coming out of the cage, and some really do like it. So it all depends on the rat's personality as well. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the tips that I have for taming rats, some of the different tricks that I've used that have helped me in the past. These might not work for everybody, but hopefully you can get some ideas and can end up taming your rats. One of the first things that I like to do when I get a new rat is kind of just stand in the cage. I just put my hands in the cage like I'm doing here, and gradually, slowly, they'll come up to you and they want to sniff you. Usually rats' curiosity gets the best of them and they just can't take it anymore and they want to find out what's going on. So if you have a smaller cage, you can always kneel down and stick your arm inside and just lay it there. Try not to move it too much in the beginning and just let them crawl on you and sniff you and do whatever they want to do. So even if you're doing this for only 5 to 10 minutes a day, they will gradually get used to you and the way you smell and just your presence in general, and they won't be so scared. One of the good and easy thing about rats is they love food, so a lot of times food is the way to a rat's heart. Feeding them something soft on a spoon can help, since they can't just snatch it and run away, so they kind of have to be by your hand in order to get the food. Like Sky here was eating some mushed up sardines, I think, and Kin here is eating some egg. Here she can kind of grab a bunch and then run off, but she still has to be pretty close to my hand to get what she wants. And then here I have some chicken bone, and Fat Boy is trying to go to town on that. But as you can see in the corner, Kin, and that is Little Peppermint, who is no longer with me. She was with my friend. If you remembered from one of my previous videos, she was just with me temporarily, but they were kind of timid, and even this video, Sky was pretty timid. You see her kind of jump back. She's no longer like that anymore. This video clip was probably recorded before Christmas time, but in order for them to get a good piece of chicken, they have to come right up near my hand and kind of pull on it, and they are sniffing me as well as sniffing the food at the same time. So try not to move too much when they're trying to get a good bite. You want to stand your ground, and they'll have to get what they want when they come close enough to you. Also, giving them a small treat like a little piece of Cheerio or some baby puffs or a Yogi anytime you come up to the cage will help a lot, so they know that anytime your presence is in front of the cage, they know they're going to get a treat. Having a little food container that makes a bunch of noise when you shake the treats is also good, because you can shake the little bottle of treats and they'll know what that means as well. So you coming up to the cage is giving them positive reinforcement every time they come up to you, they get something to eat. I just love this little clip of Kiwi. She's so cute. I haven't really gotten that many clips of her because she's not really that food motivated, but I have some other tips for rats that aren't really food motivated later on in the video. So what I'm doing here, and what I was doing in the beginning of the video, is I have almond butter smeared on my hands. This is kind of the same premise where you want the rat to get a treat right from your hand, and this will also kind of teach them what they can and can't bite on. None of them bit me too hard, but you may have noticed at the beginning of the video, Kin was really pulling on one of my fingers, and I just had to keep pulling it back from her until she got the hint that my finger was attached and that she needed to lick my finger in order to get her treat. These next clips are something that I generally don't do. Someone recently had suggested it to me, and I thought that it was a pretty good idea, especially if you have really shy rats. You basically set up a tub or a cat carrier or something small to be really comfortable for your rats. You kind of make it like a little safe haven so they know that if they're scared or something spooks them, they know exactly where to go. They can run right back into the cat carrier. For really shy rats, you want to make it their space, their little sanctuary. So anytime you take them out of the cage, you're essentially putting them in the cat carrier or space that you've made for them. Then you just basically set it up where you're going to be doing something. Like my husband here is just playing a game on the computer. So I have Kinkin and Kiwi in there. They're the shyest rats that I have right now. And this is kind of new to them. They hadn't really been put in the cat carrier before, so it's kind of not really working like it should have. But in the end, they end up kind of warming up and coming out on their own. I did set some treats out. But you can definitely tell that when something scares Kiwi, she immediately runs right back into the cat carrier. Kinkin just was really sleepy and wanted to burrow under the fleece and didn't feel like coming out. You essentially want to ignore them and let them kind of explore on their own and let them come in and out and grab a treat if they want to and just do their own thing. So in this clip here, I actually added Zara and Sky to the cat carrier, and you can see that Kiwi then becomes a lot more adventurous. One of the number one things that help a shy rat is an outgoing rat. So they often learn from one another, and they also actually kind of cave under peer pressure. So when the other rats are coming out, exploring and having fun, the shy rats kind of want to end up doing the same thing. So adopting an already tame rat can really help you with taming the shy ones that you have in your group. As you can see here, Sky and Zara weren't even in the cat carrier for a minute and they already wanted to come out. Sky is trying to crawl all over it and just have a good old time. So Kiwi and Kinkin had been in the cat carrier at this point for about 10 minutes. Kiwi was coming out on her own and doing her own thing. Kinkin still did not want to come out. And Sky and Zara had only been in the cat carrier for about 5 minutes and were already out crawling around everywhere. So like I said at the beginning of the video, it really does depend on your rat's personality. I don't know if Kinkin would have ended up coming out later on, but for the most part, she didn't want anything to do with it. Another method that I personally really like doing is just laying on the couch. You have a blanket and you just put the rats underneath the blanket so they are still feel secure since they're underneath the blanket, but they're still out of the cage, crawling around on you, smelling you, getting used to you, and all of that stuff. You can also do this in the bathtub. Since it's really cold out right now, I didn't really like doing it in the bathtub because it's too cold. So the couch works perfectly for me. After a while, Zara, since she gets into everything, will try to jump off the couch, but that's usually after they've been outside for a while. So you just kind of let them crawl around while you're watching TV and doing whatever, and after a while they'll come out of the blanket and want to explore a little bit more. So you can just do this a few times a week until they get used to you. Another thing you can use is a bonding sack or a bonding pouch. I don't really use this for outgoing rats because a lot of times when you stick them in there they just want to crawl right out, but it's definitely good for really shy rats. You can kind of just hang it on you while you're doing the dishes or just doing errands around the house. It kind of gets them used to different smells and sounds that they're not really used to. You can also use a hooded sweatshirt that's turned around backwards so the hood part is by your face in front of you, and just stick the rat in the hood while you're walking around cleaning or doing whatever. So it's kind of the same premise that they get to hear all different kinds of sounds and smells and just feel your presence while you're trying to bond with them. So those are the tips that I have for you. I hope this is helpful. If you guys have any other tips, go ahead and put them below in the comments so other people can read them and maybe try using them. But I hope this video helped you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.